2025 is looking to be a massive year for wrestling, with WWE joining Netflix, AEW continuing to grow and strengthen on their network, and TNA constantly still surviving. But what will happen in 2025? Can we predict it? I've got arguably the best wrestling booking simulator available, Total Extreme Wrestling 9. And we're going to see what the future holds for North American mainstream wrestling. Before we begin, massive shout out to all of the mod teams that work on creating real world mods for TEW 9. I find them over at Grey Dog Software Forums, and another big shout out to the Who 87 for their real world updates mod, which we're going to be using in today's video. So please do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this. Drop a comment down below with what you think your biggest prediction will be in wrestling for 2025, no matter what wrestling company it might be for. And also drop a comment on what you think the biggest, craziest wish could be for wrestling in 2025. And if you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. So I've started up a brand new database. It's Sunday the 1st of December 2024. We have all game areas open. I wanted this to be as natural and free and realistic as the mod and booking simulator could possibly make it. So we have the main companies available. As you can see, we've got All Elite Wrestling that we're going to be focused on today. We've got the Total Nonstop Action Wrestling that we're going to be focused on today, and then obviously World Wrestling Entertainment that we are going to be focused on today. But to get this going correctly, I don't want to start on the 1st of December. I want to start on the 1st of January 2025. So I'm going to simulate through, and then we're going to see where the database thinks 2025 is going to start, who's going to be champions, who's in the top Power 500, who's going to be fired, hired. Let's jump to the 1st of January and let's see what the world looks like. So it took a little while, but it's now Wednesday, the 1st of January, 2025. And what we're going to do, we're going to look at the year-end awards. Sorry, not rewards. We're going to look at the year-end awards. We're then going to look at WWE, AEW, and TNA. We're going to see who their champions are. We're going to see if there's anybody missing, anybody not missing. We'll check out the Power 25 and the most popular. And then we'll start jumping ahead and see what happens. So Male Wrestler of the Year is Yuma Aoyagi. I probably pronounced that incorrectly. I do apologize. He currently wrestles for... Who does he wrestle for? AJPW, All Japan Pro Wrestling. Female Wrestler of the Year is actually Toni Storm. Very, very nice that she still wrestle for AEW. She's a very good wrestler. She does still wrestle for AEW. Next up, Company of the Year, WWE. That happens by default pretty much because they are the largest company. Male Tag Team of the Year is Satoshi Kojima and Shota Umino from Japan. Match of the Year was Saturday Night's Main Event 2024, which is actually coming up for us in real life. It was Cody Rhodes versus LA Knight. Cody Rhodes, of course, going to be taking on Kevin Owens at Saturday Night's Main Event. Show of the Year goes to Saturday Night's Main Event, probably because it was one of the biggest and only pay-per-views to happen in December. My prediction, by the way, is that Kevin Owens is going to beat Cody Rhodes, but he's going to have a quick reign because he's going to drop it right back to Cody Rhodes on the Netflix Raw. That's my opinion. That's my guess. I don't know if that's right. Either that or Gunther's going to lose. One of the world titles is going to lose, but I'm going to go with Kevin Owens winning the world title. Female wrestler Momo Watanabe. Male veteran wrestler is Shuji Ishikawa. Female veteran wrestler is Kaori Yoniyama. I don't know a lot of the Japanese wrestlers, I'm afraid. Independent Male Wrestler of the Year goes to Kaito Kiyomiya. Again, not 100% sure. Female Independent Wrestler of the Year is Julia. Is that the one that just recently signed for WWE? Yep, she wrestles for NXT. Interesting. A lot of people touting her for something good. Male Manager of the Year is actually Christian Cage. I mean, he currently plays the dual role of manager and wrestler, taking advantage of the people that he quote-unquote manages, I guess. Female Manager of the Year, Maria. Play-by-play Commentator of the Year is Tony Schiavone. AEW's commentator. Female is Gia Miller. Male color commentator of the year, Chris Jericho. Obviously, as he winds down, he's probably doing more and more color commentary. Male referee of the year is Daichi Murayama. Never heard of him, I'm afraid. Female referee goes to Aubrey Edwards, probably because she's one of the only female referees. And yet, that is the end of year awards. In terms of news, what's this about the WWE Network? It's been branded obsolete by the WWE. And so on the 1st of January 2025, it's going to close. I have heard that this is actually happening because of Netflix. So this may be hard-coded into the game. And most popular. Let's have a look at that as it loads in. So this is going to be the 100 most popular active workers, doesn't include celebrities in each area, as decided by their average popularity across those regions. So currently, The Rock is the #1 most popular wrestler in the entire world, followed by Cody Rhodes and then Roman Reigns, with Randy Orton in at number 4, John Cena at number 5. So the game actually puts Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes above John Cena. That's interesting. Seth Rollins is at number 6. Brock Lesnar at number 7. We don't see much about him. Gunther at number 8. Drew Galloway at number 9. And Eli Drake at number 10. So the WWE, and I will put The Rock as WWE here as well, dominating the top 10. How far do you have to go until you get to a non-WWE? So Demi Bennett, Ripley, Bronson Steiner's there at number 18. Wow. Very highly rated. Damian Priest. So still looking. So John Moxley, if I'm not being stupid here, John Moxley is the first non-WWE wrestler. Rebecca Knox, Becky Lynch. We know she's coming back to the WWE. Let's start mucking around. John Moxley for AEW. Then Bobby Lashley. Bill Goldberg's there. Brian. So once we get to 23, we start hitting AEW wrestlers. That's going to be interesting to see if that's going to change over the next year. And then if we go and have a look. So let's start with the WWE. Let's see, first of all, who their champions are. So their Intercontinental Champion is Bron Breakker. He hasn't lost it in December, so they think he's going to keep it. What else do we have? We'll go down. I don't care too much about Speed. Dragon Lee and Candice LeRae, fine. The tag champions are Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. They actually won it on the 28th of December. Down here, beating the Motor City Machine Guns. So they are the newly crowned champions. The undisputed WWE champion is still Cody Rhodes, so he didn't lose it. Okay. The United States champion is still Shinsuke Nakamura, recently won it. Women's tag team champion is still Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. The women's undisputed is still Nia Jax. So not predicting a lot of title changes here. Liv Morgan is still the women's world champion. Gunther keeps his world championship as well. Finn Balor and JD McDonough are the world tag team champions. So only, which one was it? Only the WWE tag team championships changed hands between the 1st of December and the 1st of January. Let's see on AEW then, All Elite Wrestling. So we have a look at the titles. I'm actually not too up on the champions of AEW, but I can see the history here. So the Continental Champion is Kazuchika Okada. I'm just going to call him Okada. I can't pronounce his first name. The Classic is a tournament. International champion is Takashita. The TBS champion is Mercedes Moné. The TNT champion is Daniel Garcia. Women's champion is Jamie Hayter. She was recently... So it looks like Mariah May lost the title on the 16th of December. Probably had to surrender it because it goes to vacant. So she had to surrender it, or she got fired. And now Jamie Hayter is the champion, the women's world champion of AEW. The world champion is John Moxley. World tag champion Shelton Benjamin and MJF. A weird tag team there, winning it on the 13th of December. Wonder what's going on there. And then the AEW World Trios champions, Winning it on the 13th of December was Darby Allin, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood. Okay. And then if we go down to TNA, have a look at their titles. The Digital Media Champion is PCO. Okay, that's current champion. Masha Slamovich is the Knockouts Champion. Danny Luna and Jody Fret are the Knockouts World Tag Team Champions. Nick Nemeth is still the World Champion. Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy are the World Tag Team Champions still. And Eric Young has won the X Division title. So Zachary Wentz, or no, hang on. The X Division title, says here, has been vacated for 83 days. And now Eric Young has won that. Okay. Beat Mike Santana for it. And then defended it against John Gresham in a cage match. Okay, Eric Young going back to the X Division. Very, very weird. So WrestleMania is scheduled to happen on the 30th of March. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump to April 1st, I think. And we're going to see what's happened at WrestleMania and how the world is looking. And so again, after a long time of simulation, we are now at the 1st of April, which means we can check out the WrestleMania card and see if anything has happened coming into 4 months into the year. So let's start with WrestleMania, shall we? So if we go to the World Wrestling Entertainment, so we're going to start from the bottom of the card. There was 5 pre-show matches. Loading up the pre-show. So Cruz del Toro defeated Mark Coffey. We saw he was called up from NXT. So he got on the WrestleMania night. Didn't get on WrestleMania main show. Interesting here as well. It says it's only been programmed for WrestleMania to be one night. So it's a one show only on Sunday the 30th. Chances are WWE aren't going back to one night WrestleManias. I'm pretty sure they make quite a lot of money from this. So then next up they had Maxine Dupree defeating Blair Davenport. Karrion Kross defeated Akira Tozawa and Uncle Howdy defeated Carlito. And then in the main event of the pre-show, Gallows and Anderson defeated the Creed brothers. So nothing crazy going on there. To start WrestleMania though, we started with Gunther having CM Punk beaten down after a backstage brawl. So starting WrestleMania with a bang. The Motor City Machine Guns then opened WrestleMania by defeating Pretty Deadly in a 57 rated opening match. That led into an interview with The Rock. So The Rock returned for WrestleMania 41. I wonder if he was the host. I don't know. Natalya then defeated Shayna Baszler. And there was a backstage segment with Charlotte Flair. So Charlotte Flair returned to WWE for WrestleMania as well. Nikki Cross defeated Dakota Kai and Scarlett, I believe that's Scarlett Bordeaux, in a triple threat match. We then had a backstage segment with Braun Strowman. That led into Chelsea Green and Piper Niven defeating Pomp and Circumstance to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Okay. We then had an interview with AJ Styles, which led into an interview with Roman Reigns. Interesting to see how this is going to match up at the top of the card. Logan Paul and Imperium then defeated Apollo Crews and DIY. All right, so then we had John Cena returning for an interview. LA Knight had an interview, and then a video hyping the tag team match of A-Town Down Under versus the Street Profits, which was for the WWE Tag Team titles, which A-Town Down Under were able to retain. We then had a hype video for the New Day versus the War Raiders and a backstage segment with Shinsuke Nakamura, and then the New Day defeated the War Raiders to retain the World Tag Team titles. Honestly, doesn't feel like the biggest WrestleMania so far, but there is a lot of cards still to go. There was a Nia Jax and Bayley video, and then Nia Jax defeated Bayley to retain the WWE Women's title. So Nia Jax keeping a hold on the championship here. We then had Bron Breakker versus Otis in a cage match for the Intercontinental title, which Bron Breakker won. So he also retained his title. There was a Finn Balor backstage segment and then a video for Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. So even in TEW 9, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley looks like it was scheduled for WrestleMania. Does Rhea Ripley win back her title? She does. Rhea Ripley defeats Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's World title at WrestleMania 41. And then Roman Reigns wins a Battle Royal to win the WrestleMania. This is the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which Roman Reigns wins. Very shocked that Roman Reigns is in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Cannot believe that, but he won it. Of course, if you're going to put Roman Reigns in that Battle Royal, he has to win it, right? And then Cody Rhodes defends the undisputed title against John Cena. The retirement tour of John Cena may be being reflected here, but Cody Rhodes beats John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania 41 to retain the WWE Undisputed title. And that's really interesting because unless I've missed something, Gunther did not defend his title. I wonder if Gunther was originally scheduled to defend the championship against CM Punk, but ended up beating him up backstage and not having the match. That's actually really interesting. Let's have a little glance at the Raw after Mania to see what happened. Backstage segment with Braun Breaker, backstage segment with Rhea Ripley, a backstage segment with Braun Strowman. Chad Gable defeated Uncle Howdy. Okay. Seth Rollins had an interview. Dakota Kai defeated Shayna Baszler. Damian Priest had an interview and then beat Tyler Bate. Dominic Mysterio beat Ilya Dragunov. Okay. There was a backstage segment for Finn Balor. And then Bronson Reed defeated Otis. Liv Morgan defeated Nikki Cross. So she's trying to build up momentum after losing her title. Sheamus, Sami Zayn, and Seth Rollins defeated Pete Dunne and the War Raiders. And then CM Punk and Braun Strowman defeated the Uprising by DQ in the main event. I wonder if Gunther got involved there. But it looks like maybe Gunther and CM Punk have a little storyline developing. Very interesting that they didn't have a Gunther world title match. Let's see who's holding the titles. So Braun Breaker retained his title at WrestleMania. We saw that. The Royal Rumble winner was Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns won the Rumble, but did not get the WrestleMania main event. Maybe there was some storyline shenanigans going on there, but that was his second victory in the Royal Rumble. Tag team titles, A-Town Down Under. Cody Rhodes is the undisputed champion. Shinsuke is still the United States champion. Who won the women's Royal Rumble? Rhea Ripley. So Rhea Ripley won the women's Royal Rumble. That's why she was in the WrestleMania women's title match. Okay. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, we saw that. Nia Jax retained. Rhea Ripley's the new one. We saw that. Gunther is still the world heavyweight champion, so he just seems to be avoiding defending his title. The New Day are the tag champions. Obviously, we saw that Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods recently turned their back on Big E. Interesting storyline going on there. So Roman Reigns, in the space of 3 months, wins the Royal Rumble and the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. He's just killing these 30-man Royal Rumble Battle Royal events. Absolutely crazy. Let's have a quick glance at AEW and just see what's happening with the titles here. So Will Ospreay beat Okada in February for the Continental. Okay. Takashita is still the international champion. Okay, he's been holding that for ages, actually. That looks quite mad. How long? For 171 days, he's had 10 successful title defenses. That's very good. Mercedes Moné is still the TBS champ. Daniel Garcia is still the TNT champion. Jamie Hayter is still the AEW Women's World Champion. MJF beat Jon Moxley at the end of January to win the world title. Shelton Benjamin and MJF are still the tag team champions. So MJF is a dual champion. He must be going crazy. What's his popularity looking like? Can we see? Popularity is 63 in America, and that's jumped up from 60. It's not as crazy as I thought it would be, but it's definitely flying high. And Darby Allin and FTR, that's it. Yeah, I couldn't remember what they were called. The FTR. So Darby Allin and FTR are still the AEW World Trios champion. So a nice shock there for MJF to be a dual champion at least. Okie dokie. And then if we just quickly lastly glance at TNA, so their titles. PCO is still the digital media champion. Masha Slamovich is still the women's world champion, knockouts world champion, shall I say. Danny, Luna, and Jodie Fret are still the knockouts tag team champions. Super X Cup doesn't matter. Jeff Hardy is now the TNA world champion. TNA playing the same games they've played for many, many years, putting the championship on Jeff Hardy. Hopefully Jeff Hardy can keep hold of that. We all know his demons. He won that on the 30th of January. So he won that the day before MJF won the AEW world champion. Frankie Kazarian and AJ Francis are the TNA World Tag Team Champions, beating the Hardys on the 27th of March. So that's relatively new, literally 4 days ago. Okay, 5 days ago even. Interesting, very weird couple going on there. And the X Division champion is still Eric Young, holding that for 117 days. So that's how it's looking so far. I'm going to work out which one comes up next, if it's AEW's flagship show or if it's Bound for Glory. And then we'll jump ahead to that and we'll see where we're standing after whichever show it is. I'm not 100% sure, but whichever one it is, that's where we're going to go to now. So we're back. It's the night after AEW All In 2025. And looking at the news here, which we didn't do last time, there's a Jack Perry drama. Apparently he's getting into a fight with Bryan Danielson, which is very interesting to see. Just goes to show that the inmates really are running the asylum there. But let's go and have a look and see what the AEW All In card was. Let's go to show history. So starting at the bottom, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pre-show matches. You got the Workhorsemen defeated the Infantry. Chaos Project defeated Top Flight. Commander defeated Peter Avalon. Mark Briscoe defeated Lee Moriarty. Bandido defeated Angelico by disqualification, and Jamie Hayter defeated Nyla Rose. Does that mean Jamie Hayter isn't the women's champion? We'll find out, maybe. The show starts with an interview segment for Bobby Lashley, who mocked Jon Moxley. And then we had Willow Nightingale defeated Diamante in a submissions match. There was then a backstage segment with Adam Copeland, better known as Edge, and then a backstage segment with Christian Cage as well. Mariah May defeated Mercedes Martinez. Then we had a backstage segment with MVP. Madison Rayne defeated Julia Hart. No title matches yet. Another backstage segment with Chris Statlander. I apologize. Parker and Maynard defeated the Guns and Reynolds and Silva. That must have been a triple threat tag team match. Thunder Rosa versus Harley Cameron versus Athena versus Rio gets a video, and then Thunder Rosa wins that match to retain the TBS title. So she won that and now defended it. There's a backstage segment with Renee Paquette. Jay Lethal and the Grizzled Young Veterans defeated Matt Sydal and Hookhausen. There's then a video for Pac versus Eddie Kingston, and Pac defeats Eddie Kingston in a tables match to retain the TNT title. So he must have won that at some point as well. We then get another video, this time for a tag team match. Britt Baker and Layla Hirsch versus Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm. So Mercedes Moné was the champion for a long time. I don't know if she still is. Toni Storm, who was voted the #1 women's wrestler in January. Britt Baker and Layla Hirsch defeat both of them in the tag match. That's a big win for them. Darby Allin defeats Rey Fenix to retain the Ring of Honor World Television title. So there's a title being defended interpromotional, or as close to interpromotional as you can get with Ring of Honor and AEW. Rey Fenix then attacks Darby Allin after the match. And then we get MJF versus Ricochet versus Okada triple threat video. And MJF retains the world title in that triple threat match. So he is still champion. So okay, quite a lot of matches. There are not a lot of title matches for All In. Let's go and see the titles. So Darby Allin is now the Continental Champion. He won it in July. We then have Samoa Joe as the International Champion. He won that in May. We saw Thunder Rosa is the champion of the TBS title and defended it at All In. She beat Mercedes Moné in May. Mercedes Moné nearly goes a whole year as champion with 12 defenses, but doesn't quite make it. For the TNT title, Pac is the champion, beat Daniel Garcia in July, who had beaten Jack Perry in November. Okay, yeah, we saw that in the last clip. Okay. The women's world champion is Hikaru Shida. Defeated Jamie Hayter in April, at the end of April. So just after WrestleMania there. Holding the championship for 82 days. She's had 6 successful title defenses. The world champion is still MJF, and he hasn't lost it. 171 days he's been champion. Still keeping hold of that. He's had 8 successful title defenses. Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, FTR, beat Shelton Benjamin and MJF in April. Okay, so a little while ago. A lot of title changes in April, it looks like. And then the World Trios is now Bobby Lashley, Danhausen, and Hook. And they won it on the 2nd of May, beating Darby Allin and FTR. So titles are flowing. They're changing hands very freely in AEW. What does it look like in WWE with the titles? Let's have a look. So Braun Strowman is now the Intercontinental Champion. He beat Bron Breakker in June, ending a 238-day reign. Then we've got, we don't care about speed, the tag team titles. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa DIY. They are champions since May, beating A-Town Down Under. Okay. The undisputed champion is still Cody Rhodes. Currently 470 days he's been holding this title. He's only had 6 successful title defenses. 470 days. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. That's Roman Reigns levels of defending the title there. Solo Sikoa is the United States champion, beating Shinsuke Nakamura in May. He's been champion for 66 days. The women's tag team champion is still Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. The women's undisputed champion is now Bayley. She finally beat Nia Jax in June. So that title's been bounced around because Nia Jax beat Bayley to win it. So since April 2024, over a year ago, there's only been 2 women holding that championship and 3 championship changes. The women's world championship is still Rhea Ripley, who won that at WrestleMania. The world heavyweight champion is still Gunther. 352 days he's held this title, and he's had 11 successful title defenses. So nearly 100 days, or around about 100 days, less than Cody Rhodes. 5 more, the title defenses. I can't speak today. And Ivar and Eric, the War Raiders, are the world tag team champions. They won it in June from the New Day. Okay, so titles are also changing hands there. Not the big ones, but the lower championships are changing hands. And then we've got TNA. The digital media champion is Jonathan Gresham, who beat PCO in June. Su Yung is the women's champion, beating Masha Slamovich, who held that title for 250 days. Hasn't defended it yet. The Knockouts World Tag Champs is still Danny Luna and Jody Fret. They haven't lost, or have they? Hang on. They did. They lost it in April. Okay, this has been the most active title. They lost it on the 24th of April to Li Ying Lee and Jordan Grace, who then had to surrender it 6 days later, and then Rosemary and Steph DeLanda won it, and in the 13th of July they lost it back to Danny Luna and Jody Fret. So Danny Luna and Jody Fret on their 3rd reign here. TNA World Champion is Nick Nemeth again. Nick Nemeth beat Jeff Hardy in June. Jeff Hardy held the title for 126 days, but Nick Nemeth has won it back. The World Tag Team Champions, Zachary Wentz and Tommy Dreamer. What a weird combination. Very weird combinations going on. World Tag Team Championships right here. Beating Frankie Kazarian and AJ Francis in July. And the X Division champion is now Kushida, who beat Eric Young on the 8th of May, 2025. Amazing. Okay, so there is a lot more title changes happening in TNA as well. Very interesting. Now, if we have a little look, let's check out the news real quick. So who has TNA? TNA has released Crazy Steve, Rebby Hardy, Heather Reckless, Killer Kelly, Wendy Chu, Ariana Grace, and Con since February. That's a lot of people to disappear there. Okie dokie. And if we go back to the WWE, really, Randy Orton, oh my god, WWE has had a lot of people leave here. So since February, D.A. Brewer left, Carmella left, Caden Carter leaves, Isla Dawn, Joe Gacy, Rey Mysterio has left, Sean Daivari, Gregory Shane Helms left, Sami Zayn left in April, Elton Prince has left the WWE, Apollo Crews, Kairi Sane, Nick Aldis left in May, LA Knight. Oh wow, WWE had a massive clear out here. This is mad. James Long, Carlito, Megan Morant, Chris Sabin, one half of the Motor City Machine Guns, left in June. Shayna Baszler left in July. Last time we looked, she'd been losing quite like 2 matches in 2 events at least. So that's not a surprise. But the big one, Randy Orton on the 10th of July, left the WWE. That is mad. And if we go and look at AEW real quick, I should have looked at who signed. AEW, even more people. Here we go. We're just going to say the names that we know. So Sarah Stock, Max Caster, Colt Cabana, Jeff Jarrett, Sanjay Dutt, Penta L0M left. He has left in real life as well, actually, now. It didn't take as long. Sky Blue, Maria, Claudio Castagnoli, Brian Cage, Red Velvet, Johnny TV, Trent Beretta, The Butcher, Jake Roberts, and Big Bill has left. Randy Orton's still unemployed. Eli Drake hasn't signed for anybody. Jeff Jarrett hasn't signed for anybody. He's retiring in 20 days, actually, so that explains that one. Rey Mysterio hasn't signed for anybody. Neither has Nick out. Neither did Carmella. Okay, so that kind of says to me then that Sami Zayn, at least, and maybe even Chris Sabin, has landed on their feet. El Generico currently wrestling for MLW. Okay, MLW, that's a good take for MLW. What about Chris Sabin? Currently unemployed. He's just not popular, I guess. All right, so that's interesting then. So we're going to now jump forward to after Bound for Glory, which I believe takes place in October. Yeah, Sunday the 12th of October. So we're going to jump forward to Monday the 13th of October. And we're going to see where the world is. Right then, we're in for our last pit stop of the year before we jump to the end of the year. And Bound for Glory has just happened. It was held at the Curb Event Center and drew nearly 4,000 fans. Very, very nice for TNA there. Nothing crazy happening in the news on the day. Chad Gable has extended his deal. Doesn't look like there's too much going on. D'Lo Brown and Josh Alexander have been bonding. Cool. So let's go and have a little look at Bound for Glory and let's see what happened there. Hopefully it was a good show. Not the longest show. Quite a short show, actually. So they had 6 pre-show matches as well. They had Kevin Knight defeating Jason Hotch, Aiden Prince defeating Travis Williams, The Real Deal defeated Hammerstone and Dina, Trey Miguel defeated Jai Vidal, or Yai Vidal, however you say it. Ace Austin defeated Casey Navarro by DQ, and then Rhino and Joe Hendry, I believe in Joe Hendry, defeated Alan Angels and Shera. And then the show starts with Matt Hardy calling Kushida out, but then ended up getting beaten up by Kushida, that looks like. Okay, so that didn't work out for Matt Hardy. Steve Macklin and Mayhem defeated Tommy Dreamer and the Lumberjacks in a 6-man ladder match. Interesting. Where they had an interview with Sami Callihan. The Militia defeated Tasha Steelz and Kylan King to retain the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team title. So it looks like those changed hands beforehand, but they didn't change hands on the night. There was an interview with Jeff Hardy, and then Li Ying Lee defeated Savannah Evans. Eddie Edwards and JDC defeated Eric Young and AJ Francis by disqualification. There was then an interview with Nick Nemeth. Sami Callihan defeated Mike Santana. Kushida defeated Matt Cardona to retain the TNA Digital Media title. Didn't we see Kushida was the X Division champion? So it seems to all be bouncing around. Kushida getting rid of Matt Hardy and then retaining the TNA Digital Media title against Matt Cardona. Jonathan Gresham defeated Jeff Hardy. And then in the main event, Nick Nemeth defeated Declan Mayo. I've never heard of that name before, to retain the TNA World title. So Nick Nemeth is still the champion. And we're going to go and find out. I want to know who that Declan Mayo is. Declan Mayo is a former bodybuilder trained at Funkin Conservatory He only turned pro in February, so this is a self-made TNA star. And oh wow, he is crazy on 54 popularity. TNA have created a muscular beast right there. Okay, that's kind of mad. Has he had any titles? No, so TNA predicted to produce their own superstar by TEW 9 in 2025. That's cool. While we're here, let's have a look at the news. So Declan Mayo, he was only hired in September. So he turned pro in February and was hired in September. So he isn't homegrown. I take that back. He must. So Declan, hang on a second. Declan Mayo, job history. No job history. He went pro in February, didn't have anything until TNA signed him. Popularity, track progress. So he just sat doing nothing until September. He came in on 55 popularity. So he was a very popular bodybuilder. That's kind of mad. Okay, the things that can happen, eh? There we go. All right, so in the news, he was the only person that TNA hired. Has TNA fired anybody? Let's change that. PCO left TNA in October. Rosemary left in August. Johnny Swinger left in August. Ace Still left in August. And Joe Doering left in September. The rest we saw. So a few more people disappearing from TNA, but they seem to have replaced them with an absolute superstar. Let's have a look at AEW. Just check the titles, see what happened. So Bryan Danielson is now the Continental Champion. Darby Allin won it in July, had to vacate it in September, probable injury there. And then Bryan Danielson, who did he beat? Let's have a see. Bryan Danielson defeated Jay Lethal for it in October. That would have been a good match. Bryan Danielson, retirement not sticking. Samoa Joe is still the international champion. Diamante is the TBS champion. Puck is still the TNT champion. Britt Baker is now the women's champion. She beat Hikaru Shida in September. Okay. Will Ospreay is the world champion, beating MJF in August. Okay, 66 days ago, MJF lost the world title. What was that? Let's have a look. Can we see view? 79 rated match. Very good match. The world tag team champions are Alex Reynolds and John Silver. They beat FTR in October. And the world trios champions Swerve Strickland, Alex Reynolds and John Silver. So Alex Reynolds and John Silver owning all types of tag team divisions. They beat Bobby Lashley, Danhausen and Hook in September as well. All right then, so titles changing hands more and more. Where did we get to last time? I can't remember. Oh, Big Bill, I think. So Orange Cassidy has left AEW. Lexi Nair, Mercedes Martinez, Rocky Romero, Miro left as well. Nduka left. Lance Archer left. Satnam Singh. Kenny Omega quit AEW from a pay dispute. Oh my days. That's massive. One of the founders quits AEW in 2025. That's crazy. Ortiz has left AEW and Christopher Daniels has also left. There from the beginning. Let's check Kenny Omega. So Kenny Omega walked out and is currently unemployed. He has not had anybody bring him in. What was his last match for AEW? So he's been doing big time independent wrestling. His last match for AEW was a tag team match with Bobby Lashley against Jack Perry and Jay Lethal in September. That is crazy. Kenny Omega quitting AEW. Quite good popularity as well. I mean, he's a superstar in Japan. He'll find work in New Japan. He'll find work in America too, I'm sure. Loyal to AEW. So it must have been a mad pay dispute for him to just be like, no, I'm gone. He's moved as well. He's now living in Kanto. I'm assuming that was a move. That is absolutely crazy. So we did have a big time shocker thing happening. And then last but not least, WWE. Let's have a look at their champion, shall we? Titles. So Braun Strowman is still the Intercontinental Champion. A-Town Down Under are again the Tag Team Champions. They beat DIY. I can't remember if I mentioned that in the last bit. The undisputed champion is still Cody Rhodes, now at 554 days, and he's only had 7 title defenses. I think that's 1 more now, is it? It might not even be. Yeah, I think 1 more since the last update. Andrade is the United States champion. He beat Solo Sikoa in August, or at the end of August. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are the tag team champions. Bayley is still the women's champion. Nikki Cross is now the women's world champion. She beat Rhea Ripley 43 days ago in August. That's crazy. Drew McIntyre has dethroned Gunther. Gunther got 12 defenses in 429 days. 5 more defenses than Cody Rhodes. But he's lost it now to Drew McIntyre. So we've seen a World Heavyweight Championship in WWE change hands. The War Raiders are still the World Tag Team Champions. Alright, so we're going to jump now to the end of the year. We're going to see what the new end of year awards are. We're going to see what the Power 500's looking like. We're going to see what who the most popular wrestler in the world is. And that'll be the end of the video. So let's do this one last jump. And we finally made it. It's the 1st of January. We've gone the full year. And now we get to see what kind of progress we're making. So the male wrestler of the year, Andrade. Wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Female, Bayley won it and Toni Storm won it last year. Okay. Next up, male tag team wrestlers of the year goes to the Young Bucks. Okay. So now America stealing back a few of the awards now. It was not so Japan heavy. Female tag team of the year, Io Shirai and Kana. So as I say that, we get some Japanese winners here. The male young wrestlers of the year, Funaki. Okay, I don't know who you are. Female young wrestler, Julia Hart. Good win for her. Male veteran wrestler of the year this year is AJ Styles. Stealing another one from Japan. Then we've got female wrestler of the year, Kana. Or female veteran wrestler of the year, sorry. So she won the tag team and female veteran wrestler of the year. Male independent wrestler was Shotaro Ashino. Okay, never heard of you. Female is Hikaru Shida. Company of the year, once again, is WWE. All right, so they weren't dethroned. Most improved company of the year, MLW. Good work from MLW. Match of the year this time, Roman Reigns defeating Andrade at WWE SmackDown. A 90 rated. That would have beaten last year's Cody Rhodes versus LA Knight as well. Card of the year, SummerSlam 2025 was the best pay-per-view of the year. Maybe we'll go and check that out. Maybe we won't. Male manager of the year, Stokely Hathaway. Back to a more recognized male manager this time. Female manager, Scarlett Bordeaux. Okay, we saw her wrestling a lot. So she actually got female manager as well. Very good. Then we got male play-by-play commentator, Excalibur. So again, AEW keeping hold of that. In fact, apparently AEW have held that since 2018. That's kind of mad. Female play-by-play commentator of the year, Gia Miller. Is she still for TNA? She is. So TNA's female commentator of the year getting it twice. Male color commentator, Chris Jericho again. All right, bit weird. But big year for Chris Jericho on the announce table, it seems. Female color commentator of the year, Sayoko Mita. Never heard of you, I'm very sorry. Male referee, Paul Turner. Female referee, Aja Pereira. So, sorry, Aubrey Edwards, but not you. All right, so that's the awards. Let's go and have a little look. Let's start with TNA. How are TNA looking in terms of titles? So, Kushida remained the champion, the digital media champion. Alicia Edwards is the Knockouts World Champion, taking it off of Su Yung. The TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champion is also Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich. So a former Knockouts Champion and the current Knockouts Champion, now a double champion. TNA World Champion is Nick Nemeth. He's held on to that. World Tag Team titles are currently vacant. Zachary Wentz and Tommy Dreamer had to surrender it in November, and they've never been crowned a new champion. Okay. And then the X Division champion, Rich Swann, getting back to the heights of champion, becomes the X Division champion. Very, very nice. Is there any news from them? They hired Mark Sterling. Wait a minute. Hang on a second. They hired Nick Aldis as well. Comes back on a handshake deal. Walter, as in Gunter, The last we saw Gunther, he lost to Drew McIntyre over the championship in WWE. There's a story here that we're going to find out. Big shocker there. Gunther holding the world title for over a year. We'll come to WWE afterwards, I think. But then going to TNA. That's kind of mad. In AEW, Bryan Danielson is still the Continental Champion. Bobby Lashley won the Continental Classic. Shelton Benjamin is now the International Champion, beating Samoa Joe. Diamante is still the TBS Champion. Puck is still the TNT Champion. Mercedes Moné, she started the year as Women's World Champion. She's ended the year as Women's World Champion, winning it on the 26th of December to get that title back. Wait, was she the champion? Am I being dumb? She might not have been the champion. I might be getting... Oh, no, she was TBS champion. My bad. She was TBS champion. I held that till May, but now she's stepped up and she's the Women's World Champion, okay? Will Ospreay is still the AEW World Champion. Alex Reynolds and John Silver are still the World Tag Team Champion. And they're still the World Trios Champion with Swerve Strickland. So not a crazy amount happening since All In. Let's have a look at the news. Did they get any of WWE's throwaways? Renee Paquette has left AEW. Saraya has left AEW. Anthony Henry, Lee Johnson, Emi Sakura, Jimmy Jacobs. They have fired a lot of people. So I think I remember here. So they... Okay, Mark Sterling left AEW to go to TNA. Preston Vance, Madison Rain, Justin Roberts, Jimmy Jacobs. They have got rid of a lot of people. Johnny TV left twice. He's left there, and he's left all the way down here. Oh my days. There's the Kenny Omega walkout. So Lady Frost left. Adam Cole walked out because of a pay dispute as well. So AEW being stripped of their stars here. This is kind of mad. This is very, very mad indeed. Then in terms of hiring, nothing really. They bought back Johnny TV from ROH, but that was it really. Nothing crazy there. Okay, let's get rid of you. And then the World Wrestling Entertainment. Let's go into titles. The Intercontinental Champion is Dominic Mysterio, who beat Braun Strowman. Oh my days, taking after his dad there as a massive underdog. But I would assume he's playing it unless he stole it from Braun Strowman. Okay. What else do we have? Did they do a King of the Ring? CM Punk won King of the Ring. Drew McIntyre won the Money in the Bank for a second year in a row. That's probably how he beat Gunther. Queen of the Ring was Bayley. Helps her have a great year. A-Town Down Under are still the tag champs since August. Cody Rhodes started the year and finishes the year as champion. Still only 7 successful title defenses in over 600 days. That is crazy. Honestly, that is crazy. I mean, it's more than Brock Lesnar had in 43 days. But he is rivaling. Look at this. Roman Reigns. Everybody said Roman Reigns didn't defend the title enough. He held the title for 735 days and had 10 defenses. If Cody holds it for another 100 days, he has to have 4 defenses and not be as bad as Roman Reigns. And I'm sure he's more active. That's mad. The United States champion still Andrade. Women's Money in the Bank was Tiffany Stratton. They didn't hold one in 2025, actually. Didn't hold the Women's Money in the Bank this year. We saw Rhea Ripley won the Rumble. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill have won back the Women's Tag Team Championships. Their third reign. They started the year as champions, right? Yeah, down here. They did. And they've got it back as well. Okay. A lot of resetting going on here. Nia Jax is the women's undisputed champion. So Bayley and Nia Jax have been juggling this title for 2 years. I hope that's not the case, but doesn't that sound like a Nia Jax type of thing? The women's world champion is still Nikki Cross with that crazy face right there. Okay. World heavyweight champion Drew McIntyre. I wonder how long after the 6th of October Gunther left. That's mad. That really is. The World Tag Team Champions is a new version of The New Day. So not Xavier Woods this time. Big E instead returning from injury. Hopefully that will happen. And we saw Roman Reigns was the Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner. Let's go to news. Where did we get to in terms of hiring? So a ton of recalls. Not really much hiring going on here. Jeremy Borash was called up. Not much going on here really to look at. Let's have a little look at the leavers. When did Gunther leave? So we're going to start the... Oh my days. I'm seeing some craziness here. Hang on. So there's the Randy Orton leaving. Wolfgang then left. Brock Lesnar left in August. Kevin Owens left in August. The Miz left in August. R-Truth left. Seth Rollins left in October. Gunther left in November, so he hung around for a month. Roman Reigns left in November. What the hell is going on? Damian Priest as well. So many people leaving the WWE. That is mad. Honestly, that is absolutely mad. They're showing as a medium-sized company now. Track progress. They haven't dropped. In fact, they've grown over the year. Why would they get rid of so many people? That is mad. Okay. Then we've got two more things to look at. That's not what I wanted to look at. We're going to look at the Power 500. So yeah, Andrade El Idol or Idolo Andrade was the men's wrestler of the year. Cody Rhodes in second. AJ Styles, Roman Reigns, Shinsuke, Will Ospreay cracks the top 10 for AEW, as does Jon Moxley, and technically Gunther for TNA is top 9, with Kento Miyahara closing out the last of the top 10. And then if we go to most popular, is it still The Rock? Of course it is. Not even close. Cody Rhodes on 83, 74 average. The Rock average popularity 85. Still Roman Reigns, still John Cena. In fact, John Cena has jumped over Randy Orton here. And then you've got Drew Galloway, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Walter, Eli Drake, Brock Lesnar. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the top 10 left WWE this year. That's absolutely crazy. Guys, if you have enjoyed this rather in-depth look at mainstream North American wrestling predicting 2025 using TEW 9, please do leave a like. This is probably going to be quite a beefy long video. It's definitely a long video to record. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, and I've done this round the wrong way, so please do leave a comment as well. Let me know what you'd like to see on the channel. It can be WWE related in terms of 2K24, it can be TEW 9 related, it can be prediction based. Let me know and we'll see what we can do. Thanks for watching, everybody, and peace.